Well, the elections are a major logistical challenge. 12 million people are eligible to vote at 21,000 polling centres. And in some of the more inaccessible areas, like the rugged Panjshir Valley, ballot boxes are being delivered by mules and donkeys. Well, Akbar Ahmed is a former Pakistani diplomat and the Chair of Islamic Studies at the American University in Washington, D.C. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. So first of all, we see the challenges that are both logistical. There is a fear of vote rigging, obviously security. What hope do you have that these elections are going to be different from the last ones, that these really will be valid, free and fair elections?
Just the very fact that these elections are taking place. I think we need to remember what is happening in Afghanistan, and all well-wishers of Afghanistan, of democracy, need to applaud the people of Afghanistan. With all the chaos, the violence, we know all this tragic shooting of the two journalists just recently, Afghans are going ahead. Now we know that this is a transition moment in history, which means fraught with danger, but also ripe with all kinds of possibilities, a genuine entry into democracy. A new chapter is opening in Afghanistan, and we pray and hope and we must support that this movement into democracy goes through. There will be rigging, there will be accusations, there will be all kinds of violence, and there will be attempts to stop the elections. But the fact is, it is happening.
Well, certainly the Taliban is trying to stop the election or prevent people from voting, and yet any future president will have to deal with them somehow. How do you see that future relationship?
Yes, the future president will have to deal with a couple of things very quickly. One, the presence of the Taliban and the future role of the Taliban in the central government. Secondly, the relationship with the United States. The United States on the verge of withdrawing, the agreement not yet signed. The new president has to sign that agreement with the United States, which in turn will impact on the relationship with the Taliban. And then, of course, the relationship with the neighbors, particularly Pakistan. All these will be in the incoming tray for the new president and will have to be dealt with quite urgently.
Well, you are yourself a former Pakistani High Commissioner to the UK. So obviously I must ask you specifically about Pakistan. What do you think the potential pitfalls or potential better relationship for the future might be there?
It's been a very difficult relationship with ups and downs over the last decade or so. And yet it has potential for a cordial, amiable relationship of two neighbors who must begin to understand how mutually tied they are to each other. There's an overlap of culture, of history, of ethnicity. There are tribes that live on both sides of the borders. So it's in their mutual interest really to promote stability in each other's countries and therefore in the region. Now, unfortunately, there have been all kinds of accusations from both sides. Pakistanis will blame the Afghans for the violence and instability in their tribal areas. Afghans will do the same, pointing to Pakistan and its intelligence agencies and so on. I think both Pakistan and Afghanistan have a moment now after the elections to look ahead, to put the past in the past and begin anew. Because if Afghanistan can be built as a strong, stable democracy, it will have an impact on the entire region. And I think Afghanistan's time has come. I think we really pray that it pulls it off and enters the world of genuine democracy.
Akbar Ahmed, former Pakistani diplomat and Chair of Islamic Studies at the American University in Washington, D.C. Sir, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.